So if you guys haven't been checking Twitter for the last week, pretty much be aware of all the ULX issues there's been with the quality and build construction of it. And in today's video, I am going to show my solutions to it. If you don't want to RMA it and just fix it yourself because you don't want to wait more time. Essentially what I did was just basically a shell swap, putting the housing of the Starlight 12 in the ULX base plate, basically just having all the performance in the shell or top housing of the Starlight 12, keeping the base plate having a much stronger feel to it, a better build construction, and just a better feeling overall. Because in my ULX units, as you guys saw in my Twitter, I was just very annoyed because the amount of flexing and creaking it had. And turns out it's not actually flexing. Like, it is, but it's not. A lot of people are using the term flexing, which I guess is not really correct. I'll get to that later, but let's talk about the shell swap and how it feels. First of all, obviously the magnesium has a much more stronger feel to it. No issues at all with that. It does feel a lot better. And if you just want the performance of the ULX, don't care about the pinning and all that, then this could be definitely an option for you. It is going to be a little bit heavier. It comes around like at 44 grams, 45, depending what you have on it. You're going to have a little bit of heavier clicks. The scroll wheel, I don't know why, but for some reason it does feel a little bit tighter on the magnesium body, because in my ULX body it was a little bit lighter. I do enjoyed it a lot, and here it does feel a little bit tighter. I'm not a very scroll wheel heavy user, so it is not really an issue for me. The side buttons as well on this one, they are going to feel a lot worse of how they feel in the ULX, because they're a little bit heavier. They're not as tactile, and they feel kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie. But I was not able to put the same ones of the ULX, which are these ones, into the Starlight housing, because it is a little bit different and it didn't really fit well. So I had to use the Starlight side buttons, which is not really an issue. And the DPI button, I forgot to take it out. You can take it off if you want, as well as some other stuff if you do want to make it a little bit lighter. I think if you do a battery swap, take off the DPI button and some other stuff, you can bring the weight down to almost 40 grams or so. So if that's something you want to do, you can definitely give it a try if you do really care about the weight. And talking about the Starlight 12 with the ULX housing, this is a much worse feeling, I'm not gonna lie. It still does have that flexing to it, and creaking. It's nowhere near as bad because the magnesium is a little bit thicker than the fiber carbon composite, so it does fill up that gap that was mentioned in a Final Boy video that he made and uploaded to the Final Mouse Discord. And basically all the issue due to a little gap here in the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see how it still bends a little bit in, or it flexes, and basically it's because it has a little bit of gap in the inside of these in the side wall. So that's why it feels like it has some flexing and creaking to it, but it's not actually a flexing. You're just bringing the side wall to the base plate, which is just like a pushing feel, and that's why we call it flexing, which I guess is not really flexing. What it is flexing though is that here, if you see, if I press on it, it does flex a little bit, but nowhere near as bad as here in the back. Like, I can sink my finger in, as you guys see right there, which is not really an issue during gameplay, because once you put your whole palm on it, it doesn't flex at all. Also, here with the side buttons, you're gonna have to sink them all the way in the body to actually activate them. Here I have to put it in all the way in the body so you can actually press it, because and the ULX body, they're shorter, like the travel distance is shorter, so you have to sink them all the way in the Starlight body. And also the scroll wheel ends up hitting the side of the left trigger, so whenever you move it around, you're gonna feel it scratching onto the left side of the trigger. And also in the left click, you have a little bit of grinding when you press down all the way. Not a really big deal. And again, I don't think there's a point of using the Starlight 12 with a ULX housing, because all the performance and all the good stuff is in the ULX base plate with the Starlight housing. So I don't see why would you use that. But like, if you want, those are the issues you're gonna have. And it just really depends on how much you care about it, because for me, the 38 grams to the 44, 45 grams, It's not a really big difference. It does feel amazing on the ULX like stock version. It does feel amazing, and I really wish I had a perfect unit, because I do enjoy the shape a lot. It is one of my favorite shapes. I mained it for a long time, and that's why I'm very sad and disappointed about how my unit turned out. Those like 6 grams of difference is not a really big issue for me, and I can still use it and I can still enjoy it a lot this way. But again, this is something you can do if you're interested in just having a fast fix for your ULX unit. And also the official, or like I guess the recommended way from the support of Final Mouse, is that you could add a 3mm layer of like aluminum tape in the inside of the sidewall, like I said before, where the gap is, and or you could also put in some B7000 adhesive glue to the sidewalls and the inside, so it basically brings the whole body together, and it gives you a more sturdy, and you conserve the weight. Again, I would much rather have a stronger body feel than the ULX Ferro Composite, so this does work out a little bit better for me. So I hope this video helped you guys, and see you guys next time.